Hey friends, it's Robin. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting a new reading vlog and I am coming at you from the dog bed on my bedroom floor. I am starting to decorate for Christmas, but I want to start an audiobook while I am doing this. And in order to start that audiobook, I need to film this little intro. Sorry about my hair. I've been decorating all day, but I wanted to film this intro before I get started because I'm actually going to get started on this TBR. So this weekend is a little 48-hour readathon that is hosted by Riley from Riley Marie, who I will link down below. She is hosting this with her Patreon, which I am a part of, and I love being a part of her Patreon. And so we are doing a little cozy weekend readathon, and it technically starts tomorrow morning. However, I am having a game day with my friends tomorrow, and so part of my afternoon is going to be eaten up by that. And so I thought I would get started a little bit early, and since I am trying to put together this Christmas tree, there's also some cats, I thought this would be the perfect time to start in on an audiobook, which means that I need to go over my TBR. So I think there's 5 prompts, and the whole concept of this is that we're attending a tea party. So it's like you need to bring food, a teapot, and something. So one of the prompts is like to attend a reading sprint. So obviously I will do that. And then the other 4 are actual reading prompts, and you technically only need to complete 2 of them to complete the readathon. But obviously I chose 4 books. I actually chose 5 books, which it's only 48 hours. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just get right into it. So the first one is to read a 5-star prediction, and I actually have 1 5-star prediction left for my 2022 5-star predictions, and that is A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. And so I actually started this last night, but I only got a chapter maybe in. So that is one of them. Then we have to read a cozy book, which I am going to read Lovelight Farms. I think it's BK Borison maybe is the author. I have this from Hoopla, so I will be listening to this one on audio. And then we have a novella, and I actually have 2 options for this. I have There Arose Such a Clatter by C.M. Niscata, which is a Krampus novella. I have heard really good things about this author, but I haven't read any of her monster romances yet. So I have this one. And then I also have Silent Night by Evie Mitchell, which from what I understand is a Roy and Keeley inspired romance. If you've watched Ted Lasso, you know that there is a sexy Christmas scene in there that never ends up happening in the show. And I believe that Evie decided to write that sexy Christmas as a novella. And then the one that I'm going to start right now is for the romance prompt, and that is Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran, and this is a sapphic holiday romance. I'm sure at some point I knew the premise, but I have forgotten it in my old age, so I don't remember the premise for this one at all, but I do have this one on audio from Scribd, and so I would really like to get this read. I absolutely loved Alison Cochran's debut novel, The Charm Offensive, and so I'm really excited to give this one a try. So I thought while I was doing this tree that I would get started on my audiobook. That is going to be it for this first little portion of the vlog. I am going to get back to fluffing out the tree, and I will check back in with you probably tomorrow when the readathon technically starts.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile.
Hello everyone, so it is day 1 of the readathon and it is already noon and I haven't started reading anything yet. But sprints just started over on Riley's Patreon, so I am hoping to finally get some reading started. I've just been doing stuff all day. I taught yoga this morning. I not finished decorating, but I put up lights on our Christmas trees. I'm still waiting for some ornaments to come. The kitten is kind of obsessed with the trees, so I had to purchase a bunch of cheap shatter-free ornaments because all of the ornaments that I have are glass or breakable, they're ceramic and stuff like that, because none of the other animals ever messed with the tree. But Maggie's kind of obsessed with them and she keeps climbing them. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to put any breakable ornaments on because I'm sure I'm going to wake up every day to ornaments all over the floor. So I am waiting for those to be delivered before I finish decorating them. I did get my office decorated, but I think that video is coming super soon if you're watching this when it comes out. So I do have some decorations if you want a little sneak peek. That's what it looks like. So I have a bunch of decorations up in here. I kind of went all out decorating my shelves and stuff because I was like, I spend the most time in this room. This is where I work. So I wanted to make it nice and festive. So I have like 2-ish hours until people come over because we are having a game day. It's a very busy day. I also have my first seasonal mug out, so I am going to start in on my audiobook of Kiss Her Once for Me. I think I have like 4 hours left in this. Like I have quite a bit left in it, so I need to get a move on because I am going to attempt to read 4 books this weekend, and I haven't started anything yet. I did talk about how I had 2 different ebooks that I was going to choose from, but I am saving Rose Such a Clatter for a December vlog, which I'm not gonna spoil it. Oh my god, I cannot talk today. I'm not gonna ruin what it's for, but something is coming up in December and I'm saving that. So instead, I'm just going to be reading Silent Night. So that leaves me with 4 books that I need to read. So I need to get moving. So we have 23 minutes left in this sprint. So I am going to turn off my camera so that I can listen to my audiobook and get going. I don't know what I'm going to do while listening to my audiobook. I will figure that out. But let's get reading. So it is much later. It is 6:30 at night. Right after I had started like filming and reading and everything, people started showing up for our game day. And so I didn't film any of that because not only do none of them want to be in the video, but none of them even know about this channel, so didn't film any of that. But I did get some read during Riley's sprints before I had to log off, and I am 124 pages into A Kiss Her Once for Me, and I am loving this. One, it's really, really funny. Like, I was listening to a little bit last night. Like, I just started the audiobook last night as I was falling asleep. I, like, kept chuckling. It was really funny. But the heroine in this one, so I don't know if I've talked about the premise of this at all. The heroine had just moved to Portland for her dream job doing some sort of, like, character animation, and she's having a really hard time, like, being on her own. The job isn't everything that she had dreamed of. Her coworkers and boss kind of suck, and so she has this amazing snow day with this woman, and something terrible happens like the next morning, and they don't see each other for like a year or something. I think it's a year. Our heroine ends up losing her job at her like dream company, and she has stagnated. Like she has not been able to recover. She's struggling financially. She's struggling with her mental health. She has generalized anxiety disorder, and so she's really struggling with that. She's now working at this like small coffee shop, and the like owner of the building every now and then will come in and check on the business, and he is like this really attractive upper class guy. He ends up overhearing about like her bad luck, and she asks for promotion, and he is there to hear her get turned down. The two of them end up going out for drinks afterwards. He ends up telling her that he has a $2 million inheritance that is tied to him getting married. And as the night goes, the two of them end up getting extremely drunk and getting fake engaged so that she can like help him get his inheritance, and he will give her $200,000. It is her going home with him before the holidays. Once she gets there, she realizes that her one night stand is his sister. And this book is so, so messy because not only is she crushing on his sister and fake engaged to the brother, but the sister's best friend is the ex of her, of like the hero, the fake fiance. And so there's like a love square. But like, I know people are going to be like, oh, I hate love triangles. It's not really a love triangle. It just so happens that our hero and heroine are fake dating. And like, you know that they're not going to end up together. Like, they're obviously going to end up with the people that they actually like. So like, it's not a real love square, love triangle, whatever you want to talk about it, but it makes for like such uncomfortable interactions. Everyone's faking it. Like, everyone's lying. And so they're all trying to keep themselves together around to the other one and not like be too jealous and, you know, let everyone in on the secrets. And it's really good. I love the anxiety representation in here. It's like obviously not exact to mine, but it is really great. Our heroine is also asexual. She's on the ace spectrum. And again, it's not like exact to my experience, but it's such good representation. It's kind of the cool thing right now to have like super steamy romances, and having an ace character doesn't particularly lead to that, like lean into that. Our heroine is Demi, to be specific, and so she does not feel any sort of sexual attraction until she builds an emotional connection. but she's severely socially anxious, and so she struggles to build emotional connections to people. It strongly affects her personal life, obviously. And so I really like that rep. It's great. I'm enjoying this a lot. Like I said, I'm 124 pages in, so I still have quite a bit to go. I'm going to join in on Brie from In Love and Words' sprints tonight. I think they're at 7 my time, which gives me like 25 minutes right now. So I'm thinking that I'm going to pick up the novella by Evie Mitchell really quick just to like finally finish a book because I haven't finished anything. So I think I'm going to do that just so that I can finish something up. It might like bleed into the first sprint because I want to say that one's like 50 or 70 pages, something like that. So it's going to take me like an hour to read and then get back into this. The audiobook does say that I have, I think it's like 3.5 hours left. I am going to take my laptop downstairs and just like read for the rest of the night. I have a solid like 3 hours of reading time here. I don't have to be up early tomorrow like I did today. So I have lots of reading time. And I am considering taking off Monday. My anxiety is up for some reason. I don't know why. I woke up today super anxious and I just haven't been able to kick whatever is triggering it. And so I'm considering taking Monday off and just like giving myself a break, but we'll see. For now, I am going to get the sprints ready and take this and my Kindle downstairs and we're gonna go do some reading.
But the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
Happy Sunday. I am in the bedroom. I am just sitting here separating out laundry. So I thought this would be a good time to check in with you guys because I did do some reading yesterday. So I ended up finishing my novella, which was Silent Night by Evie Mitchell, and this was so cute. I gave this one 4 stars. I like always have a hard time reading novellas because I have a really hard time giving them 5 stars because they're so short. So I have this year kind of tried to figure out like how to rate novellas. Maggie. And so there are certain things that I look for in a novella because I see this a lot where people are like, well, it was insta-lovey. And I'm like, well, they only had 45 pages. So yeah, it kind of had to be. And so I don't take any of that kind of stuff into consideration anymore with novellas. Instead, usually what I'm looking for is if they have good chemistry, because if the author can write good chemistry in 45, 50 pages, that's super impressive. So I look for that. I look for it to elicit some sort of emotion, whether or not it's laughter or swooniness or whatever. Like, I wanted that. And then if I want more from them, in the end. If I want another book from them or like a full length book for them, then I feel like the novella did its job. And that was definitely the case with this. So I'm giving this 4 stars. I liked it a lot. This is kind of a sequel to a full length novel, but it's just like a little spin-off. You can read it as a standalone 100%. You do get like a little peek at her sister who had the full-length book. But this is a bodyguard romance, and our heroine ends up, her fiance runs out on their wedding and she attacks him with cake very publicly while millions of people are watching. And so she kind of needs to get away from the public eye. So she goes to Alaska where one of their ex bodyguards are. And so she goes to stay with him, and they both have been carrying feelings for each other like for years because he worked for their family for like 4 or 5 years. They've always been carrying a torch for each other, and now they are stuck in this 1 bedroom cabin together. Romance ensues. It was inspired by Roy and Keeley. In fact, their nicknames are Roy and Keeley. So it was really cute. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. 4 stars. And then I am just about done with Kiss Her Once for Me. I think I have a less than an hour left on the audiobook. So my plan is to sit here and do my laundry. Well, not sit here and do my laundry, but finish up my laundry. I'm going to do some chores and stuff today. I need to get the upstairs tree decorated. I need to take some photos for today, just some general house things. I need to order groceries at some point because I did not go grocery shopping with my husband because I didn't want to get out of bed. That's kind of the game plan. So I'm going to finish that. And then I think I'm going to start in on the audiobook for Lovely Farms. Is that the name of the first book by B.K. Borison? So I'm going to start in on that as soon as I finish Kiss Her Once for Me. I'm going to go make myself some coffee because I am in desperate need of coffee. And then we can get back to reading. Okay, so I just finished Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran, and I am giving this 4.5 stars. This clip is going to be kind of long because I have a lot of things to say, not necessarily about this book, but just in general. So I really loved this. I thought it was super messy and just really swoony. This had great chemistry and steamy scenes and conversations. It had amazing representation. I loved the whole like love trapezoid, love square, love rectangle, whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, my jaw hurts really bad today. So if I keep like touching myself, that's why. I really like this. I love Alison Cochran's writing. I love the way that she creates characters. I love the conversations that she brings up and the way that she brings them up. I really liked the reconciliation at the end. I just really liked this. I liked both the characters. I found Elle to be one of those heroines that is like simultaneously frustrating, but also like unbelievably relatable. And I love that because I mean, we're all frustrating at times, and I liked it a lot. Now, the conversations that I would like to have here are surrounding the representation. I do identify as Demi and Ace, so I am coming at this from my own point of view. I am obviously not a monolith. I can't speak to the entire representation of asexuality and demisexuality. However, I went and I was reading some reviews on this book after reading this because after I read books, I like to go and look at some 5-star reviews and some 1-star reviews or like low rated reviews just to see if there was anything that like I didn't pick up on while I was reading the book. And there were a lot of 2-star reviews on this book of people saying, I'm not on the A spectrum, but I didn't like the demisexuality rep in here. And a lot of them were saying that they didn't like it because it didn't fit the definition of demisexuality. I really didn't appreciate those comments. So our heroine is demisexual, so she doesn't experience sexual attraction until she builds an emotional connection with somebody. She ends up meeting our other heroine on like Christmas Eve, like during a snow day at a library, and the two of them spend a whole day together and they end up getting very close. And at the end of that, they do end up sleeping together. And people were saying that that isn't a thing for demisexuals. She doesn't feel sexual attraction, so how could she possibly sleep with the heroine within 24 hours? Asexuality, guys, it's not a checkbox. Like, it's not something that it's like, oh, I can't sleep with this person because I identify as ace or I'm demi. And so we're people. We're all, it's a giant spectrum. And as somebody who is demi and ace, I have had one night stands in my past. Like, it's not, it is not a yes or no thing. Like, there are exceptions to every rule. And just because your understanding of demisexuality is that I need an emotional connection, you have no idea like what can cause that emotional connection. It could be a sentence, it could be one thing that they did to make you feel safe and secure that allows you to get to that point. And just because you, as an allosexual person, can read the definition of demisexuality as needing an emotional connection, you don't get to define what an emotional connection means to that person. And yes, it might seem fast for you. You can't tell me that you have never felt emotional connection to somebody after a single conversation. I did not appreciate those comments because I feel like it is putting a certain stipulation on somebody where it's like, well, you identify as ace, so now you need to follow these rules of asexuality. And that's not how sexuality works. There are people that you find attractive, and there are people that you feel a connection to inherently, and just because it might not fit into a certain box that you have identified yourself as doesn't mean you're not allowed those feelings. And so yes, this does have the insta love sort of feel to it, but I think that criticizing the heroine for not being demi enough is not, it's not okay. And like I don't want to see any more of those reviews because I feel like that is very hurtful to somebody who might have felt that before. It is not a hard and fast rule. Like there is a spectrum, and that spectrum can change all the time. Like it can change on how you're feeling that day. It can be there's so many factors to what creates a safe environment for you and what generates a romantic connection and all of those things. And don't isolate somebody because they say that they're ace and then they don't follow the rules that you think they should. That's my little 2 cents here. Our heroine is demisexual, and just because she had a one night stand with somebody doesn't make her any less demisexual. That's my little 2 cents on that book. But 4.5 stars. I really loved this. I love Alison Cochran's writing. Like I said, I love the way that she builds connections and characters. There's a great found family trope. Someone compared this to While You Were Sleeping, and at first I didn't get it, but the family aspect of it definitely gives me While You Were Sleeping vibes, where the heroine falls in love with the family just as much as the other person. And so I really liked all of that. It was really well done. I liked it a lot. So now I've finished 2 books. So next I'm gonna start Love Light Farms. I am printing out inserts for December. I got 60-pound paper, and it is so nice. I'm really excited to try it with stickers and see how it works. So I have a lot of pages to cut out. So I figured I would start another audiobook while I'm hanging out here. I am in a lot of pain today. I'm old, okay, guys? Like, I'm in my 30s now. Now, I've been in my 30s for a minute. We were having our game day yesterday, and I don't know what I did. I like yawned or like turned my head or something, and my jaw popped. And not like my jaw, like the insertion, like where it connects to my skull, like it clicked and it hurts so bad. And it keeps kind of like clicking throughout the day. And like it hurts to touch. Like if I touch it, it is sore. And so I have no idea what I did. It hurts a lot. And I'm kind of miserable. So I'm going to sit here and listen to my audiobook and do some planner stuff. I'm going to try to get Love Light Farms read this afternoon. I want to say the audiobook is like 4 hours or something if I read at my normal speed. I'm going to try and get that done before sprints. That's going to be the game plan, and I will come back to you in a little bit once I have a good idea of what Love Light Farms is about, because I haven't read the synopsis for it. This went around everywhere, I feel like, on Bookstagram. So I will come back to you once I get started and know what the synopsis is, and I will give you my first impressions and we can go from there.
Hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire.
I am now halfway through Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison, and I didn't mean to wait until the 50% mark to update you, but I am kind of in love with this book. I can't put it down. I am like internally screaming with how adorable this romance is. My kitten is obsessed with the Christmas trees and the ornaments, and she won't stop messing with them. But this is a friends to lovers romance. It is also fake dating. It is also set around the holidays. And it's so, so cute. These two have this really, Maggie! So these two have a really adorable, like, a friendship meet cute. They just kind of like fall into being best friends. They are both kind of at this very like tumultuous point in their life, and they just need that sort of platonic relationship. And even though they start like developing attraction towards each other, they have become so close that they just kind of like continue on being best friends. And now our heroine is like the owner of this little tree farm. The tree farm is financially struggling, and she ends up applying for some sort of like influencer thing, sends in an application to this huge influencer who will do like features of different small businesses. And she ends up lying in the application saying that her and her boyfriend bought this tree farm together because the influencer always seems to feature like really romantic things. And so she wanted a good shot at getting this feature because it is $100,000 prize, and she really needs the money for the tree farm. And so she ends up asking her best friend to pretend to be her boyfriend while this influencer is coming there to look at the farm. And obviously, they both catch feelings. And it's so stinking cute. The chemistry, the tension, the mutual pining, it is great. I love it. I do wish we got the hero's POV because it's written entirely from the heroine's POV. But like, even despite that, like, it's so good. I love it so much. Like I said, I didn't even realize that I was like 50% in and I hadn't updated you or even told you the plot yet. I'm completely in love with this. Like, I get why this had so much hype surrounding it. This one's worth all the hype. I just finished printing off like a whole bunch of stickers. I printed off all of my sticker kits through January for my social media planner. I got my like planner inserts set up for December. The paper is so much thicker than the other ones, and it's so nice. I love it. I went from 30 weight paper to 60 weight, and it's great. So I now have some pasta because it is after 3 o'clock and I hadn't eaten yet today. So I have pasta, I have my water, and I'm just gonna kind of sit here and try to finish up this audiobook. I don't even know how much time I have left, but it's 3 o'clock and sprints start in 2 hours. So I'm just gonna kind of keep playing with my stickers and listening to my audiobook, and I will check back in with you maybe around the 75% mark and tell you how I'm feeling, and then we can wrap up our third book. Okay, so I have officially moved downstairs. There are animals everywhere. My headphones started to die, so I decided to come downstairs. I have my heated blanket, I have my Christmas tree, I have an ambiance video, I have all of the animals. So yes, I figured I'd come sit down because sprints start in like an hour. And so I thought I would move like some footage and stuff off of my camera, off my phone, so that I can get some stuff edited while my headphones charge, and then I can get back to reading during the sprints. So I just checked, it was like an hour, just under an hour and a half. I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes left in my audiobook. That's where I'm at 60%, so I only got like a little bit more read. I'm just gonna pause it while my headphones charge. So I just thought I would take you along for a little bit.
'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you.
I just finished Love Light Farms by BK Morrison, and I'm giving this 5 stars. This was so good. I will say this was significantly less Christmassy than I thought it was going to be. It is set at a Christmas tree farm, but I want to say it opens up in October, and I don't think we ever quite get to Christmas. Like, we get close. And so this ended up being like perfect for like right now because it's just after Thanksgiving when I'm filming this, and this does have like a Thanksgiving scene, and so it ended up being absolutely perfect for like right now. This was peak friends to lovers. Friends to lovers is one of those tropes when it is done well is like the superior trope, but it's done so poorly sometimes that it just doesn't work. And this was so good. Luca is definitely a favorite hero of all time for me. My heart, I loved the way that the conflict was handled. I liked the way that the author played with miscommunication and like the conflict and stuff because it wasn't like your cliche miscommunication, and like there was so much good conversation and I mean like romantic conversation, like of them asking like how are you feeling, and like just having very good communication. I loved all of it. I loved it. I am really excited to continue on with the series now because it is following the other people that like co-own this like little farm as well as like some of the people in the town and stuff like that. And so I'm really excited to get more. This does give me a very similar feel to like the Cloverleaf Farms series by Melanie Harlow because of like the farm aspect and like the family. I am excited to read more by this author, and it just 5 stars. 5 stars. So now the final book of the readathon is A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw, and this is my 5-star prediction. This is the final book on my 5-star predictions for 2022, at least the final one that I can read. A couple of the books that I put on there ended up getting pushed back to next year. I think I talked about this like in the first clip, but I did start this one right before the readathon. So I'm 19% in, and this is the same author as, what are all of her books? The Wicked Deep, Winterwood, and A History of Wild Places. And of those 3, I've given 2 of them 5 stars. And so that's why this ended up being a 5-star prediction, because I know that I love this author. And this is kind of like a realistic sci-fi. So it is set in our world, and I can't quite place the time. And I think that's the point. Our heroine, like when the book opens up, her mother is dying from consumption or tuberculosis. It has a couple of different names. She and her mother have always been like living in this very isolated cabin in a valley, and her and her mom are astronomers, which is exactly what you think it is, except that they have some sort of calling. And a lot of it is really big. I'm only 19% in, but essentially they are supposed to map the stars and watch the stars, and if a certain like star event happens, they need to leave the valley and go find the architect. But they can't tell anyone that they are astronomers. Right at the beginning of the book, as her mother is dying, she sees the star event happening, and when her mother passes away, she realizes she needs to leave the valley and go find the architect. And she is traveling with Pa, who isn't her father, but is somebody that has been a father figure in her life. And so the 2 of them end up leaving, and they are traveling, and she needs to somehow find the architect without ever sharing who she is, and she needs to keep her identity secret. And as she is like going out into the world, she's realizing that the illness that her mother had, tuberculosis consumption, is everywhere. And it is causing the societies and the villages to crumble. It is her trying to figure out how to find the architect if she can't tell anyone that she is looking for the architect. But it's really well written. I love Jay Earnshaw's writing so much. It is so lyrical and beautiful, and even though I don't really read sci-fi, I'm already quite enjoying this one. So I am going to go read that. We have 25 minutes left in this final sprint, but it's only like, I think it's like 7 maybe. It feels like the middle of the night. It's been dark all day, and so I keep thinking it's like the middle of the night. It is not the middle of the night. I think this is going to be my last check-in for today. I am most likely gonna take tomorrow. I am just not feeling quite right yet. So I don't think I can do it tomorrow. So I think I am going to take tomorrow off and try and pull myself back together, but we'll see. I think that's going to be my last check-in for today, and then I will come back at you tomorrow and we can finish up our last book and all of that stuff. So I will see you in the morning.
Making plans, what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire.
Good morning. Well, it's not really morning anymore. It's like 1:30 on Monday. I just finished filming for the day. This week is like my biggest filming week. I'm sorry, I'm taking off my slippers. I have like 3 videos to film almost every single day this week, but then I am pretty ahead on December videos, and then I think I only have 2 or 3 every week until the end of the year. So was a big filming day, or this week is a big filming week. But I got my 3 videos filmed, and I am now sitting down to finally order some food because it's 1:30 and I haven't eaten yet today. So I'm absolutely starving. But I wanted to pop on and update you about A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. I am like 34% in, I think. This is one of those books where I would recommend not even reading the synopsis for this one because I am 34% into the book and I think we're just getting to what's in the synopsis. And so I feel like that would make like the synopsis is pretty spoilery. I would say don't read the full Goodreads synopsis, but I am really enjoying this one. It does seem to be set in our world, just like an alternate timeline, because there are like mentions of certain things. I'm not going to spoil what they are because they are happening pretty late in the book, but there are like mentions of things that makes me think that it is post-apocalyptic sort of world where like our society did exist at some point and it no longer looks like it does now. I don't know if that's entirely true because I haven't finished the book yet, but that's the impression that I'm getting. So I'm really liking it. I really like the writing. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I am planning to sit down and do a bunch of editing because I need to get this vlog edited, at least up until where I'm at right now. I need to get my December TBR and some of the videos that I just filmed edited. I need to make some thumbnails. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to do today. So I am going to get started and I will check back in with you once I'm able to read some more of A Wilderness of Stars. All right, so I forgot to wrap up this vlog yesterday. So now it is Tuesday morning and I really need to wrap this up because this was supposed to be a weekend reading vlog and it is now Tuesday. I am about 60% into A Wilderness of Stars. I don't have a lot to say about it because this is one of those books where you're kind of left in the dark for the majority of the book, and there are so many secrets and things being revealed and like not being said that I don't entirely, not that I don't understand what's happening, I understand what's happening, but like I have no idea where it's going. Like no idea. I I feel like this is one of those books where as you're reading it, you're like, how are you going to end this? And so I'm really curious to see where it's going. I'm very, very intrigued. I like the characters. I like the writing. I like everything about it so far. So it's just going to be kind of seeing like where it goes from here. And like I said in the previous clip, this is definitely one of those books where I think that the synopsis is somewhat spoilery. Not that like you won't enjoy it if you know the synopsis going in, but I think that there is just so much that happens before what the synopsis tells you. It's like a pretty big plot point to get to that. And so I do think that if you're going to pick this up, just kind of go into it without reading the synopsis or like reading maybe like the first paragraph and not like the whole thing. Like I said, I don't know where it's going, so I have no idea what my rating is going to be. I think my rating for this one is going to be like wholly dependent on what happens at the end. Very similar to History of Wild Places by the same author, where it's like the whole beginning part of the book, you're left in the dark. Like things are happening and you're getting to know the characters, but there are so many secrets. And until you get to the end, you really have no idea about how much you liked the book or not. And I feel like that is kind of the same thing with this one. That is where I am going to wrap up this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed following me along for an extended weekend, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.
The snow is falling.